Episode 2 proudly by myself and my co-host, the man, Willie van Dijk. What's up, Willie?
What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another jam-packed episode. Super excited to have today's entrepreneur on here. But Eugene, before we jump onto the entrepreneur, just tell everyone that does not know who's EHQ and what we stand for. What do we do?
Cool, thanks, Willie. Yeah, super excited for today's show. So we've actually been trying to get Bertus on here for quite some time. You guys are in for a treat. What a super entrepreneur, and just his stories are absolutely amazing, what he's been through. And that's where we learn, is through stories. So super excited about that. And then for the guys that don't know EHQ, come on, guys, where have you been? EHQ, we've got a digital academy. We've got mastermind groups. We are about sharing our journey. We believe that people learn from stories, and that's why we created the business show. So the business show is actually launched in lockdown, and we're almost on episode 60. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I believe it.
So, yeah, jump back into YouTube, go check out our channel and view all the previous shows. Guys, we're about learning, inspiring entrepreneurs. We do this for free. It's for the fun and the love of entrepreneurship. So go and share it. If you go and look at the previous videos as well, anything you like, share it, tag, comment, whatever you need to do. And then I think, Willie, let's move on. Yeah, there's the like button.
Yeah, like button. And if you don't like it, let us know, and then maybe we can improve.
No, don't do that. Only that one, not that one. So, guys, let's get into today's superstar entrepreneur. Willie, give a quick introduction of Bertus.
So, yeah, guys, super excited to welcome Bertus to the show. He's a formidable entrepreneur. We've been trying to get him on the show for quite a long time now. He travels in between his business and his home. He's an author. There we go. He's stowed in many businesses, and we can learn so much from him. It's one of the guys that I've met that I've learned so much from in so many different areas, just simply because he's open to learning, and that's just the way that he is. At this stage, we're so glad to get you onto the show, Bertus, and welcome. Oh, and by the way, he got me to go on stage to speak to people, so you're the first guy that got that. Bertus, welcome to today's show. Everyone, get out your pens and let's learn from this guy.
Thanks. Yes, Willie, and I think you're the first guy that got me to do an interview in English. I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone at the moment, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
Oh, so welcome.
Yeah.
So, Bertus, I think just a quick introduction. Just tell us a bit about your entrepreneurship journey and where you are today.
Yeah, well, I never did well in school. If I go back there again, I will still not do well at school. I went to England after school to work or to save money, and I realized that I don't want to work for a boss. I'm never going to work for a boss. I'm going to be my own boss. No. I tried many things, failed in other things, and found myself in the industry, the hunting industry, and saw opportunity, and it kind of developed from there, and started a lot of businesses, and realized that it's not because I didn't want to work for a boss, but it's because I've got a passion for business, I've got a passion for entrepreneurship, and that's how it all started.
Yes, that's super cool. And I know a lot more about your thing. I wish we had quite a lot more time to tell your story about your restaurant and all the other things that you went into and how you got into digital marketing. So there's many different areas. I think for the first one, just tell us a bit about, because you've got quite a proficiency in digital marketing and you've had some amazing success with that and teaching other people. At one stage, you had the school where you taught people how to market their businesses using Facebook and stuff. How did you get into the digital marketing side of things?
Yeah, so I think like everything, as I started the taxidermy business and everything started to work well, I needed to get clients. I think every entrepreneur needs to get clients at a point. So you have the option of getting someone to market for you, or you can do it yourself. And I think in most cases, we all want to do it ourselves, or we want to figure it out, or you're curious of how it's going to work and how this new, especially in digital marketing, Facebook was kind of fresh at that stage. And um, I noticed how I put ads out in newspapers, and I put it on my car, and it doesn't really work. And the only thing it really gets is people wanting to sell something to me, or people asking for a job or something. So I kind of wanted to know there must be a better way of getting more accurate type of advertising, because you're paying for this. You're paying for your sign on a billboard, for example, but there's loads of people looking at that sign that doesn't interest in what you're offering.
Yeah.
So, and at that time, Facebook started their advertising ways of, you can like select the audience that you want to see your ads. And that kind of got me really curious exactly how does that work. And it was also, I was also intrigued knowing that I now have the opportunity to pay for people that's interested in my ad, and not just to pay for a billboard or that kind of thing. So all those kind of things got me intrigued. And then I found on the internet ways of educate myself on how it works and how to do it exactly. And it actually surprised me more than I was thinking it would. It was more effective in many ways. And I felt, well, I would like to teach people how to do it as well. So another business was born, another
business.
Yeah, and I just kept on going like this. I think most things work more or less the same.
Yeah. No, super excited. And you're working with Facebook, and just one of the things you started paying for ads, and started getting clients. Just out of curiosity, have you ever built up other channels? Because something that recently happened to me is that I literally got banned from Facebook, and I've been struggling for a year.
Again.
Again. Has something like that happened to you, and how did you move past that?
Yeah, so my account also got closed on Facebook, and I did manage to open another one, and but my account wasn't closed because I'm a crook. It's just because Facebook is so huge, and the policies they've got in place to protect themselves, obviously. I need to read through all those policies, and I need to obey them. Otherwise, a robot is going to close my account. And so, yeah, basically the first thing when that happened is I started to learn the policies of digital marketing, and you need to sometimes understand it, because I think what we do is people. I want to kind of give a life lesson now or something. I think people are so used to in complaining and being a victim in some sense, saying, "Oh, my account has been closed," and then you just want to complain to all your friends about it and go forth that way, instead of thinking, why did it happen, and why does Facebook do this? Why do they have these policies, and how does it work? And I learned that Facebook wants people to join their platform, because if people don't want to come to their platform anymore, they're going to be out of business. So if I'm going to put up a crappy ad, if I'm going to put let's say something that might be racist, or if I'm going to put something on that's going to be like pornographic, or if I'm going to put wrong stuff on Facebook with my ads, it's going to drive away their customers, or the people that's using it. So obviously we have to work in harmony together, the two of us, Facebook and myself, in order to keep people coming back to their platform, because I'm going to benefit from them and they are going to benefit from it. And that's why the policy is there. And that's why I have to make sure my ads are nice and It follows the policy, and every rule they've got there is there for a reason, not some prick sitting there thinking out this stuff. Yeah.
So in
So
short, for
I
everyone,
learned out of that, and then I started to do actually better at my advertising because I knew about that.
so what you're saying is, in short, is read the terms and conditions before you do anything that you think is going to be right.
Yeah, and don't think you are a victim. Don't think they are discriminating against you. No, they're actually, everybody is trying to make it's a win-win situation.
I also thought about it at one stage to go read through the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
And then I realized the only thing I have to do is just do the opposite of what you guys do. Because you keep getting there, I just shouldn't do that.
So what I also have thought is, don't go read the terms and conditions. Just do what you're doing and let them know what you're doing wrong, and you'll just apologize. But that also did not work. So that's not a great
you don't speak to a person, you speak to a robot. That was also kind of personal to me, and I also didn't like. And then if you sit down, you listen, and you think a bit, you realize that Facebook has got billions of people, making mistakes like this. It's impossible for them to regulate this thing, and they need to find a way. There's no other way.
Interesting thing, I saw a post on, I think Instagram or something today, about how Facebook has scaled, Facebook, Google, YouTube, all those companies, where they did $1 billion in sales, I think it was like 2010 or something like that, and they had 1 million employees. Now they do something like 4 trillion in sales combined, and they've got 250,000 employees. So they've like 10 times their sales, and they've basically a quarter of the amount of staff that they used to have, they have now, just through all this automation and stuff. And it's not about what's right or wrong, it's what can we learn from it. They're the biggest companies in the world. Yep. So obviously they're doing something right. Just model after the people that's doing the things correctly.
Yeah, what can you learn from this, and how can you do it better? Always.
Yeah,
how can I learn from this, and how can I do it better? How can I make it easier? And just continue like that always.
Yeah. So I just want to move on to something I'm quite excited to talk about, your book. So I know there's just so many different areas. We can talk about the business stuff, the mindset stuff. We can talk about the marketing. The thing that I want to get into today is your book. How did it come about that you decided to write a book?
Yeah, so it didn't go well in the beginning. I mean, I think a lot of people will start a company, and at the moment you make money, you make bad decisions, and because you're uneducated, I think, and then you start to do things the wrong way, maybe make too much debt or that kind of stuff, and it normally goes bad. Or even if you start a company, on the business plan or the way you thought it was going to go, it doesn't turn out that way. But the thing is that when things goes wrong, like your Facebook account gets closed or whatever that is, it's actually the thing that is going to what's the right word? Going to help you to make a success, because it puts you in that situation, and it kind of it's the way you get lessons. I mean, in school we used to say, "I'm going to leer jou 'n les, my laaitie," and then that's a pak slaan in most cases, and it's the same life, when you don't play by the rules, or then you get hiding in a way, and that's teëspoed, and that's the difficult times, and then you learn from them, and that takes you to a next level, and the next level, and the next level. It prepares you for what's coming up next and what's better. So it didn't go well, and I actually noticed, if I look back, all those things that happened got me to improve as an entrepreneur, as a person, as a father, because I learned all these lessons. I got my what's teëspoed in English? I don't know.
T-speed.
T-speed.
That forced me to learn and to become a better person, and I realized that I I shouldn't blame the world. I shouldn't blame the teachers. I shouldn't blame my parents. I shouldn't blame the rain. I shouldn't blame all the things. I'm the one to blame, and I need to improve. So if I'm gonna lift my standard, I will lift the success that I've got. And then I've decided now I would like to put that in a book. At first, I didn't write the book to sell at the moment as well. I don't think I really sell it. I wrote the book because I want to have it on paper for myself and maybe for my family and so forth. Yeah.
No, and that's a valuable lesson. I think we go through the cycle and we blame someone else. Something happens where we get this opportunity to learn. And I can't remember we said it, a mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn something from it. So we go through this thing, and I think that's a big differentiating factor from successful entrepreneurs or people in general who are successful, is they make a mistake and they learn. They make a mistake and they learn, and they keep moving up. And the guys that stay at the same place keep making the same mistakes. There's that saying of life will keep teaching you a lesson until you're ready to learn it. It'll keep repeating the same stuff until you're ready to learn it. And I think that's so valuable in your book as well, is about learning from the mistakes, not just making a mistake and, oh, poor me, that victim mentality that you spoke about earlier. Really love that, guys. Make a note, write down. That's valuable information.
So Bertus, just to tie in with what Eugene's now said, when you introduced yourself, you said you toe-dipped in many businesses and you failed at many of them. You actually wrote this book, and it comes out of lessons that you've been taught. What are one of the biggest lessons that you've learned through failure, which you can tell the user, the viewers about?
The biggest lesson. Well, I want to go. I think if I go general, I would say it's not to blame. Not to blame. Don't be the victim. You've got to own your mistake, and you've got to learn from that. But I think also, if I have to say, okay, because that's what I've done. But if I have to single out one, I think when I had too much debt and my finances was crap, I think the biggest lesson I learned was to pay myself first. I didn't really understand it in the very beginning, because it kind of didn't make sense. But then I realized, no, but take out all the costs, like income taxes and commission that you have to pay, and the profit that you want, and it'll take that out of your finance and put it in the savings account, and then use the rest that you've got and do whatever you want to do with that. But at least take out that, because that helped me to get out of the financial problem. And then as soon as the finances was right, everything just started to skyrocket.
I think what people forget about is, I saw something this week which says turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, but cash flow is reality. And by following that system that you've by chance followed, and there's a guy called Mike McCulloch, which does the Profit First book, and I think you actually implemented that before you've actually read that book, just by chance. I
think the actual book that really, yes, but if I'm talking to you now, I'm thinking, reading books was also a nice lesson. But the actual book I read that got me thinking about it was the Richest Man in Babylon. The book was really nice, and it got me thinking about, this is not really my money. The commission I have to pay out to my clients, or the income taxes I have to pay to SARS isn't really my money. I've got it now, but it's not really my money. So why am I spending it? And if I'm spending it now, I'm digging my own hole, because I'll have to get it later.
You've got quite a lot of life lessons and so many business lessons. I mean, we've all known each other for a good couple of years. Actually, I want to tell this story about how we all met. So Bertus was sitting in my boardroom, and in the coaching business, I was coaching Bertus, and then I had this meeting with Willie, from an accounting perspective for software that we wanted to automate. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago. And I didn't know anything about it. So Bertus is sitting there and Willie comes in, and two different people that I know from two completely different places. And Willie walks in. It's like, yo, bliksem, wat soek joukie? I'm thinking, what the hell, Willie? This is one of my coaching clients. You can't talk about it. And then Bertus stands up. He's like, yo, moer man, loop jy die deur uit? Ek's nog besig hier. Like, yo, Bertus, I don't know. Like, this is what's going on. And then only to find out that you guys know each other from a different place, and that's at 6 degrees of separation. It's very cool, powerful. So out of all this, I mean, we've all learned quite a lot of lessons, and we talk about it on a regular basis. What do you think is something that all entrepreneurs should know that they currently don't know, or something that you see that you think is something that they should know, but you meet all these entrepreneurs and you realize that actually many people don't know anything about it?
That's a good question. I think is feeling good. I think your emotion, the way you feel, is something that's very important. I'm going to say it. I think the law of attraction. I think
Definitely.
You can't attract wealth and success just by sitting on your ass, obviously.
Yep.
But if you work and you hustle and you're pushing to get something, but you're in a negative state and you're complaining and you are not happy, things won't work out, you know. But if you're in a good state emotionally and you're fired up and you're excited about what you're doing and you have a passion for it, and you can't wait to wake up the next morning, that's very important. At this moment, I'm thinking that's the thing. And I think because if I talk to entrepreneurs and people around me, you know, most of the conversations are complaining, or they're kind of negative, and I think that's a problem. And I think entrepreneurs should know that if you feel good, if you feel motivated, if you're passionate, you attract the things that you're busy with. You're starting to see the opportunities, and you're starting. They meet you, and things just works out a little bit easier. Not a little bit, actually, a lot easier.
Yeah, and it's definitely that. I mention it on a regular basis. If you can't maintain your state, so what is the things that you're doing to maintain your state? Because if you can't maintain the state, you can have the best marketing plan in the world, you can have the best sales plan in the world, whatever it is, and you'll end up in a draw somewhere because you're not in a state to go out and execute. And who wants to do business with someone that keeps on complaining and that's negative and that's just in that wrong state? And that's where this law of attraction comes in. If you're a happy person, people want to be around you. They want to do business with you. If you're solutions orientated, if you're creative, but you can't be creative if you're sitting in a negative state, that you just don't go together. So maintaining that state is absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
And how important is it for you to actually hang out with people with the same kind of mindset?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole thing. And you know, you have to surround you with good friends. And if you surround yourself with negative friends, they just contribute to you feeling bad and you feeling negative. And that's just it's a terrible cycle.
So I had a nice question the other day.
Yeah.
So it comes back to this, so for you now, do you think your current friends are predicting your future?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Good
do.
or bad? And that's a question for everyone on the show. So ask yourself this question. It's a powerful question. Does your friends dictate your future? And it's exactly what you've said, Bertus. If you listen to people that complain all the time, eventually you will also get to that point and you won't move forward. So yeah.
Hang out at a barbershop and you bound to get a haircut, John.
Yeah. Bertus.
Yeah. I just have one question quick, Willie, before you. Bertus, where's the red bakkie? What's your rooi gevaar?
I still have it. It's at the taxidermy. It's still there. I still have it.
What's his name? Bertus.
Royes.
Royes. But Roy Billy, we can dub it Roy Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bert. So you've achieved quite success from where you started off with, basically where you now, you run a business remotely and stuff like that. What would you say are some of the key habits that helped you to achieve this level of success?
Yeah, yes, there's actually a few I think that's important, or that I like a lot, and that I always concentrate on keeping them alive. I don't want them to to die. But I think the one I like the most, or I think did the most for me, is journaling.
Okay.
It gave me a way of measuring if I'm growing, and taking notes also got a habit, because you get good ideas and then you tend to lose them if you don't take notes of that. And it's also a nice way to keep you, so as we said earlier now, you have to feel good. So if you journal and you start writing the stuff down that you managed to do today or yesterday, and you write a few things down that you're grateful about, that gets you in a good state, and especially in the morning. And there's a saying when you if you don't plan, you are planning to fail. So I'm actually I'm not very good at planning, but I feel if I'm journaling, that's kind of my plan, because I'm writing down what I want to do tomorrow, what I'm expecting to happen, and I write down my goals. That keeps me focused on what I'm busy with, and each goal I have to have some task that I'm going to do for that day or for the week at least. So I like to, if I've the journal, I'm saying journal, it sounds like just writing down how you feel, but it's actually a way of just writing a whole shitload of things in a book and keep it there. And then at the end of the week or end of the month, you can make like a sort of a summary that you can use in the future, or you can use it to measure if you've grown or if you didn't. But most of the time we grow. I mean,
and I think I think when you say journaling, like exactly what you said, it seems like you're just writing down things, but it's actually journaling processes. And one thing that I do when I journal is I follow the Tim Ferriss method, which you have introduced me to. So it's just a 5-step process for everyone that wants to learn a bit more about journaling. Go and check it out. But Bertus, we're starting to run out of time. So one last question before we jump into the hot seat. 2 questions.
What's the hot seat?
We'll tell you about it now. It's a special surprise.
Okay. So before we jump into the hot seat, where to from now?
Where to from now?
Yes.
At the moment, I'm thinking of moving the taxidermy to a better location. That's one of the things. If I manage to do that, I'm predicting I'm going to double it in size.
Sure.
I'm currently writing 4 different software applications. One in the taxidermy, one is in the hunting industry, and one is Avrineers, which is a site where entrepreneurs can build goals and with loads of tools for entrepreneurs. And then also I'm making a app that's for it's called a daily diary, which is for construction workers. They have to submit daily diaries. So we're actually in partnership with someone there. Yeah, and then I just want to push Avrineers, helping entrepreneurs just the way you guys are doing. I'm basically doing that, writing another book on marketing. Yeah, and I'm actually on the side, I'm learning how to trade a little bit. Don't want to say that out loud.
Sure.
It's
No,
not
it looks-
what's next. It's like what bucket
Oh.
is next.
Eugene, it seems like this is episode 1 with Bertus, the introduction, and now the series is going to follow from 1 to 12.
This is EHQ's version of Survivor.
Yes.
Yeah, just the journaling is absolutely amazing. It's there's a thing that says, what's your style of rejuvenation? Because otherwise our heads get so busy that we can't really focus on anything else. We can't see that wood from the trees. Everything's so foggy and you feel so overwhelmed. And you need that style of rejuvenation. So whether it's journaling or praying or meditating, whatever your style is, it's so important to have that style of rejuvenation. And I can actually feel the difference in the days that I don't follow certain routines, certain habits that I have, things that I've set up for success. I can definitely feel the impact on my energy levels, the way that I think, the things that I say, the choices that I make. And the funny thing that I want to mention that I noticed the other day, I had one absolutely amazing day, and the result of those actions over the next couple of years is going to be immense. So it's not just the productivity that you lose in that particular day. It's what is the result of that productivity going to be of the stuff that I'm implementing today. And I think that's what we lose out in entrepreneurship, this compounded effect. But enough about that, Bertus. Let's get into the hot seat. So I'll give you, Willie can ask the first question on the hot seat. So the hot seat is basically a couple of questions, 5, 6 questions. There's no explanation needed. You don't have to think about it. Whatever's the first thing that comes up to mind, don't explain it. Just give your answer, and then we move on from it. Although sometimes we do explain about it. So Willie, go for the first question.
Cool. Just before we jump into the hot seat, for Bertus, for everyone that wants to purchase your book, where can you get a hold of it? We will also share that link in the comments below.
And the mastermind, join our mastermind, guys.
Join our mastermind,
If you want to be part
guys.
of a network, I mean, we keep hearing it, you're the average of the people you spend your time with. If you want to join our group, we've got private channels and WhatsApp groups and private Zoom sessions, and it's a whole bunch of stuff. Just go click on the link, Entrepreneur HQ /mastermind. Go check it out. Join us if you want to get onto it. Willie, go for it.
Bertus, I know you like me. We've tried out quite a lot of software in our lives. I won't say what they call me, but what's your favorite piece of software?
I think Appenite.
Appenite.
Yeah.
Okay. Appenite, for everyone that's listening, it's for automation. That's one of the things that Bertus did to scale his business.
Yeah.
Jim?
If you have to go back to when you started with your current mind, but you can only take one piece of knowledge with you, what's that one piece that you'll take back to the start of your business?
Just keep on feeling good, and you are always improving, always.
Oh, very cool. Go for it, Will.
Okay. You mentioned you're going to write a second book. What's that book going to be called?
Bemarking of bevarking.
So T-speed is T-speed. So how would we translate that?
Bemarkings bevark.
Marketing
is
marketing or screwing.
Marketing is-
The thing that I want to say about the marketing or bevarking is sometimes we feel we are doing marketing, but we're actually screwing ourselves because we're doing it wrong. We've got the wrong mindset. So bevarking means not the customers, it's yourself. What I'm referring to. Are you busy with marketing, or you're busy with screwing yourself?
So you're quite into the book side. There's actually 2 questions that I'll ask. I'll ask one now and then one later. Aristotle had a saying that says, true happiness comes from reaching the end of your life, looking back and realize that you lived to your full potential. Let's say you live to your full potential and you get to the end of your life and you have to write a book about your life. What would it be called?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else than Kiesput is your voorspoed. I mean, that just,
Yeah,
whereas I've already
that's
written
it.
the book. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if that's it, that's it.
Yeah.
Cool. So
I
like a
think
last one.
I would like to rewrite the book again because I'm going to learn a lot new other things as well. I
That
would
would be cool.
maybe,
Version 2.
yeah, version 2. Just put is your first with version 2. I think that would
Yeah.
be the
V2.0.
Cool, cool. So last question from my side before we sign off. Bertus, one thing that you can't go without.
my journal. I still got it with me.
Yeah,
That's dedication.
but I mean, for everyone that's listening, you've literally got all the journals that you've written throughout your life, and you keep all of those things. You can actually refer back to 5 years on the exact month. And I think that's what you mentioned. That's how you actually measure your growth, is by looking at that journal 5 years ago, and how powerful is that? It's
I
just
think
an amazing.
if I'm dead, that would be something nice for people to find. I think so.
Yeah. One day when you're a multi-billionaire in George.
George.
So Bertus, last question from my side, and then we can sign off. So again, you've reached your full potential and you're standing at the end of your life and you're looking back. What do you think is the biggest impact that you made in the world?
I hope at that time it would be inspiring people. I think that would be not only fellow entrepreneurs, but the people working for me, my family, friends, everybody. I think that would mean the most to me.
Interesting thing I saw the other day is people don't get inspired by what you say, they get inspired by what you do. So inspire people by setting an example and by living the life that you want to live. Cool motto to live by.
I think as well, we've spoken on this this show. We've mentioned a couple of things, journaling, and we do all these things and that kind of thing. But to be honest, we don't always manage to do everything perfect. There's not that. This is the right stuff. This is the right way we do it. But we're all human, and we all stumble, and we all don't manage not to do it. It's easy to say wake up every morning at 5 o'clock, but you're gonna find a day that you can't do it, or you don't do it. But I think it's the thing that's important is knowing that everybody's like that. All the people we see on YouTube, the billionaires they've all have flaws. They all do things. They don't fall through in their advice they're giving. But the main thing is they always try, or not try, but I think try is a good word. But 80% of the time, or 60% of the time, but the biggest percentage of that time, they do it the right way. So I'm scared people are hard on themselves. They think, yes, like I can't do this, or I can't do that because, I can't wake up every morning at 5. You're right, you can't. And the guy that says you must, he can't also. It's the way we are. So we mustn't be too hard on ourselves.
Exactly.
Just keep on trying, at least.
I think that was one of the biggest lessons that I've also learned in life is just do something consistently, and even if you fall off one day, just continue doing this, because if you're going to compare yourself to the person next to you who's got this attitude of I can't do this, and they give up, if you just continuously doing, you're going to make that journey and you will get there. Maybe not as fast as you'd like to, but by doing things consistently, at the end of the day, you will arrive there. So Bertus, thanks so much for your time on behalf of myself and Eugene. I mean, guys, he was driving to Neisner and he actually took the time off to sit in his vehicle and talk to us. And then for the viewers, guys, without you, there won't be a show. I hope you've learned something today. please like and share and subscribe and comment and do whatever you'd like. And yeah.
And give us your comments about the show. What did you like about the show? What's one thing that stood out for you? So in the comments, go and type, what's the one thing that really stood out for you for today's show? I know there was a lot of information and so many different stories. What's the one thing that resonated with you? And that's our philosophy, is the one thing. If we can learn one thing every day, if we can do one thing extra every day, if we can do one thing better every day, imagine where your life will be in 20 years. So what's the one thing that you learned today? And then Bertus, thanks for taking the time out. It was an awesome show. Really appreciate your insights and just how openly you share your knowledge. It's such a privilege to have someone as humble as you on the show and so openly or willingly sharing all your knowledge that you've built up that took you many years to build up. So just thanks for taking out the time. And to all the viewers, yes, thanks guys. And Bertus, we can end off with one last thing that you want to mention and then we can jump off the show.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for inviting me. It really is in Afrikaans we say it's a pluimpie in our hat, a pluimpie in our hood, but it's a pluimpie in our hat.
Yeah,
it really means a lot to me. Just thanks a lot for inviting me.
Cool guys, until our next show.
Take you next week. Cheers. Daar's hy.
Recording.
Recording.
Record nog.